Hit record, guys. Okay, so this is sort of the soft launch of Systems with Selina. So Kiana, I'll give you some background on how this kind of got started. I taught AMP, which is an administrative mastery program, last quarter. That was the first time we taught AMP. And by popular demand of my AMP attendees, they wanted the call to continue. So I went to Rick and Casey and I said, hey, what do you think about me just kind of keeping the call going? Because it was really good and it was really collaborative, and systems and processes is just something we should probably always talk about. And it's not just for admins, it's certainly for agents, it's for administrative professionals, it's for team leaders, and it's something we're sort of always improving and always implementing and trying to get better at. And if we started that earlier in our career, as opposed to later in our career, we'd probably just all be better agents.
Absolutely.
And it's something I'm really passionate about. So Rick and Casey were in total agreement. And I said, look, here, we're going to just start Systems with Selina. And instead of only doing it twice a month, I'm going to do it every Friday. I'm not always going to be the one running it, even though we call it Systems with Selina. As a matter of fact, I need somebody to run it next Friday because I'm going to be on a plane to Hawaii. So if anybody wants to run Systems with Selina next Friday, I'm taking volunteers. Sherry, you want to talk about Trello? Let me know if you're available next Friday at 11. Taking volunteers for next week.
I'm actually going to be on vacation. I'm
You
actually
are
going to be
on
on
vacation
vacation
next week too? Excellent. We're both on vacation next week. I'll find somebody, no sweat.
Yeah. I won't be in Hawaii though.
No, I'm going to visit my daughter, and it's my day before yesterday was my 15-year anniversary with my husband. I haven't killed him yet.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. So anyway, that's how this kind of started. So we sort of soft launched this week, just kind of getting this rolling a little bit because this is a new class, but I love the idea that everyone was so collaborative. Obviously, we're probably going to spend a good bit of time talking about KV Core as that's kind of going. I know Ralph is neck deep in transitioning into that. But there's a lot that we can talk about. So sometimes I'll come to the table with things we can talk about, and other times you guys can bring an agenda item to the table. So I'm going to leave that sort of open today. And Kiana, since you're new to this and we'll kind of introduce you to this, I'd love to kind of open that up to you, since you said that's something that you're kind of like, I need a little bit of help. So why don't you tell me what you feel like you need the most help in? Let's start there.
I think it's just the daily schedule and what my admin should be doing versus what I should be doing, and really building out the systems and the processes to have a well-oiled machine versus busy work all the time, but still feeling like there's no order of how things should be going.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we've talked about this on one of our other calls, and I think usually where I like to tell people to start is you really need to sit down and like, this is usually where I have people start, is keep a notebook next to you. And every time that you feel like you're doing a $12 an hour activity, and obviously it's not truly $12 an hour, most admins make more than that these days, but when you're doing it, if you feel like, oh, this is really a $12 an hour activity, you need to put that on that list. Because all agents are still doing those things, right? It's like, truly, if it's not a $200 or $300 an hour activity, Kiana, you should not be doing it.
Okay.
So start there, like immediately get a notebook and it goes with you everywhere. And that's the stuff that you start immediately putting on her list, right? And that I'm talking like marketing and inputting MLS data and just like, honestly, like what was Rick doing earlier? We had someone on our team who just lost his mother-in-law, and he's texting Casey and I in the list in the group chat, and he says, oh, I need to order something for that. And we were like, that is not something that you should be doing. Like, that is like, we have an assistant for that. And I love that in his heart, he wanted to do that. But I was like, that is not in your pay grade. Like, I
Okay.
love that that's where your heart is, but that I need you to go do the other things that are in your pay grade and someone else will do that thing for you. Those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. Like those things that probably, absolutely, with 100% certainty you could do and can do, but you should not be doing. And I'm sure right now, probably off the top of your head, you can think of those things that you're probably still doing, right?
Yes.
Like crazy busy work.
Well, I have somebody to do it, but she's never worked with a real estate
Okay.
agent before. And so I don't have a blueprint to give her on how she should be running my admin. That's basically my issue.
Okay. So here's kind of where we like to start with that. If someone, what did she work? Did she do admin work previously?
Yes.
Okay. So best strategy for someone like that. And how long has she been with you?
Going on 2 years.
Oh, okay. Okay. Best strategy for teaching her the real estate side of that is train her what you're doing, even if she's sitting side by side with you. Is she virtual or is she sitting side by side?
She's virtual.
Okay. So jump on Zoom and train her on Zoom. Record everything. Like pull it up on your screen and actually do the activity with her while recording your screen and talk through every single thing and record it and then save that video as whatever that is and throw it in a Google Drive labeled whatever that training is. Okay, it's one thing that I wish I had done so many years ago, so that she has that to go back to. Like even with like how to input an MLS listing, right? Like open up MLS and say, here, we're going to do it together. You're going to watch me do, even if you don't do it together, like even if you're just doing it at home on your own, like let's say you take a new listing and you're like, hey, it's 9 o'clock at night and I'm going to throw it in and I'm going to open up MLS and I'm going to talk through it the entire time. Here's where you go to log in. I'm going to click here. And by the way, I taught Casey this the other day. She was so funny. I taught her how to make her mouse big, like how to go to accessibility on the on her Mac and make her mouse really big and outline it in red. And she was like beside herself. She was like, oh no. And I was like, well, when you have as many screens as I do, you lose your mouse all the time. So I like made my mouse is like this big. Ralph, you want to share something? Go ahead. Jump in. You don't have to raise your hand.
Okay, I had a question just on kind of like some of us that are using VAs for admin, right? And like my VA was originally more of like an ISA, kind of just like an outbound cold caller. And now she's kind of like morphed into, I need you to do more stuff and less of that. However, the skill set's not in like writing script for like listings, right? Is there like just kind of like a cheat sheet, or is it more of like you write it, put it in a file, then they input?
Yeah, so
experience with
one,
that,
if you're not using Chat GPT for this, you should be. Have her use Chat GPT for listing input. Canva does it for you now, by the way, Magic Script and Canva for listing input. But yes, you can tell her, hey, create it in a Google Doc and, have a first blush at it, like, and then share it with you. And you guys can kind of go back and forth and kind of like clean it up a little bit before she throws it into the MLS. Like at least she can get it going. But Chat GPT wrote my listing write up for my South Carolina house. Like it did a freaking incredible job, by the way. And I have an amazing listing agent there, but it knew that my house was on the golf course and all of this crazy stuff. Like I think we changed like 6 words in the whole thing. It was incredible. So tell her to teach herself Chat GPT. But there are a lot of different tools out there now that can help a VA that doesn't have a lot of experience in copyright. There's a lot out there, but if you're worried about them writing that sort of stuff in the MLS, just say, hey, I want you to kind of give it a first go round based on looking at the pictures, throw it in a Google Doc and share it with me. And then you guys can kind of just edit it back and forth in a Google document. And then when you feel comfortable, because we used to do that too, because you have a word count and a character count, right? So you're kind of having to do that anyway. And then that way you can like, until she gets better at it and you feel comfortable with it. And then that way, if you want to make some some changes, but ChatGPT just did an extension for Google Doc and Google Sheets. Super easy to use. All you have to do is add the extension to both. And you just say, write me a listing. I'm trying to remember, I'm teaching myself right now, but it's actually really easy to use. And they can get better at that. That's something they can learn to do pretty easily. So anytime that
sheet for like the features.
Yeah. So basically what you're going to tell her is, listen, the key is to write, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms it is, and to highlight the best features of the home, right? Now, you're talking inside the write-up.
Yeah. Like gas stove, this, that.
Yeah. I mean,
create that then.
I wonder if I still
like way back in the day, I remember there like the MLS like had a thing that you'd be able to like go and like check the box. Like, I don't know if they have that anymore.
Okay, so let me tell you what we used to do in New York. We used to take we just called it a form, but we used to just print the MLS sheets. And we would, instead of printing them like regular print, we printed them to a PDF, right? So we would take each page from the MLS and print it to a PDF. And that's what we took with us to every listing appointment. And we would just attach, so like it took like 6 pages of the actual MLS to print all pages of, because it was like click, 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 click all the way through the MLS to get all the way through the PDF. And then we would combine all the PDFs. Our listing agent would take that with them on the listing appointment, and then they would write on that PDF. And then they would scan the whole thing and send it to our virtual assistant.
Okay.
Right. And then that's what you would scan and give it to your virtual assistant. And that's what she would use to input everything in directly to the MLS. Right. Does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying?
You just like, you could like screenshot as you're kind of going through, and then you just start checking the boxes. Boom.
They
boom,
would
boom,
just do
boom.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we would just print it to a PDF so that it was clean and it didn't look like just a screenshot. It would just like, instead of printing it out, we would print it to a PDF, combine all the PDFs into one PDF. So it was nice and clean. It looked pretty. And then at the listing appointment, you would just, and then eventually we stopped using paper and we did it on our iPad Pro. And then as soon as it was done, we would just email it directly to, to the VA, and she could do it right from the second that we left the house.
Got it.
That way you didn't miss anything. You knew you weren't missing anything because you knew you had the MLS, everything that was on the MLS. So it was like every single box, you knew no matter what, you didn't miss it. So Kiana, back to the Zoom thing. If you can create a Zoom video for everything, the benefit of that for her is that no matter what, let's say you're out at a listing appointment or you're showing buyers, she now has a Zoom training of everything that you need her to do.
I think the main issue is I'm not doing it. That's the thing. I'm a high D. I don't do admin work.
So who's doing it?
That's the problem. It's
Oh,
not
girl.
She's doing the tasks that I give her to do. So if I ask her to do something, she does it, but it really appears more so like busy work, if that makes sense. Like there's no structure or foundation. So that's what I'm trying to do now. And I'm kind of like building it off like the job descriptions.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing now. The job description of like a real estate assistant or admin. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can give some structure around it for sure. And I mean, I can certainly help you with that, like marketing, obviously like listing work, all of those different kinds of things. But listen, I'm a high D too, but I'm also a high C.
Okay.
You're going to have to dedicate some time to do it. It's going to suck. Okay.
Right.
It's going to suck before it gets better. Okay. It's usually what I tell a high D. I'm like, suck it up for just this much time to get what you need done.
Okay.
Because otherwise, what's probably hard for her is like, she doesn't know what you want.
Right.
Right. And so you're frustrated because you're like, why aren't you doing all the things that I want you to do? And she's like, because I don't know what you want.
I'm more so frustrated because I'm not really an admin person. I never have been. I'm just like I'm like a salesperson, networker, marketer in terms of verbal communication. I'm a good writer and stuff like that. But when it comes to like the back office type of stuff, that's just not my thing. So as a solopreneur, I've always had a transaction coordinator, so I didn't have to worry about that. But it's the other things that help you grow your business in terms of the back end on the administrative side that I haven't set a foundation for.
Well, Kiana, you can you can invite her to this call.
I did.
Okay.
So that's why I asked you, were you recording it, this
Yeah.
particular one, but she'll be on here moving forward.
Yeah, you can absolutely invite her to this call. She can participate and she can pick up anything that she needs to in that way. And I would disk this team. And so Kiana, I know that you said right now is not a good time, but eventually if you do sign up for the mastery coaching, you could give her access to that. And all of the systems that we're talking about are built in AMP. And she
Okay.
would have access to all of that, and that would let her set all of that up for you on your back end.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And the AMP was the administrative mastery?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of that would be in there, and she could go back. I would give you access to all the calls that we just finished.
Okay.
She could see all of that we just did too.
Perfect. Okay.
There's a lot in there, and it does guide you through kind of how to systematize all of that stuff. So, you know, it's interesting, Ralph, that you brought that up, because we're kind of in the midst of, like, we had someone doing administrative and they seem to be leaning more towards ISA. And it's very interesting to see people kind of switch between the two. And it's hard because, right, you tend to see people have one strength, really, right? And then you're like, oh, I need you to kind of do this over here. No, I need you to kind of do this over here. And it's hard because you start pulling their focus in different ways, and you're like trying to teach them or train them. And I'm like, I need you to do like 400 different things. And I even said yesterday to my husband, I'm like, I can't focus on anything because I'm doing 900 different tasks right now, and I can only be good at one thing at a time. And he's like, oh, you're a great multitasker. And I'm like, that has been disproven. You know, but yet we tell our admins, I'm like, I need you to be good at all the things. I need you to be good at all the things. It's not impossible, right? But I do think if you guys can give them some sort of a structure around all of that, you know, that stuff, and some sort of training or some sort of guideline or whatever that is. But I'll see what I can find. Ooh, I keep getting people coming and going and coming and going. All right, let me see. Let me backtrack into what we were just talking about. Sherry, did you have something? You look like you wanted to say something a moment ago.
Oh, I was just thinking about the team that she has going on there, and seeing about, because I know you do really good at discs, that maybe you could help her out in profiling her people.
Yeah.
See if she has the right person in the right
role.
Because after, yeah.
Robin, welcome to the call.
Hello there.
You guys are more than welcome to come on screen if you want.
Oh,
You guys are so funny. You're like, I'm hiding.
hi.
Hi. I was just gonna say something, sorry. Phooey, I lost it. It's gone. It's come and it's gone.
You're talking about disc,
Discs,
and we
yeah.
were talking about
structure there. So Kiana, how familiar are you with the disc assessment?
I'm pretty familiar. I came from KW.
Oh, yep, gotcha. Got it. It's funny how many of us came from there. So you know, it's as well, like, do you know what her disc assessment is, your virtual assistant?
No, I've never had her take it.
If you're interested, let me know, because I tend to share my disc link with people. And we can just kind of see where she leans as well. If you know, it's kind of interesting.
I would love that.
Okay. Yeah, actually, let me just pull it for you. So I'll put it in the chat so you can grab it if you want to. 1 second. In the meantime, does anybody else have a specific system or process question that they want to jump in and grab while
I would love to hear people's input on KV Core. I am still trying to ramp up on that.
Good, Ralph.
Right?
Yay! Can we talk about KV Core?
Are you facetious or real? Because
I
don't
mean,
wanna
I'm
step
in
toes.
it, and I mean, like when I first started, like I never wanted to switch over from top producer, and now I'm like neck deep in KV Core and haven't looked at top producer unless I needed somebody's like address. However, the support now went from like, oh, I can get you in 5 minutes, and now it's like 12 hours later,
I'm getting a much
and I'm
longer.
like, what is going on?
I
Like,
think it's because of the whole Boomtown thing. I think,
yeah, I mean, I know Remax just hopped on it, so
Yep.
I'm like, they don't have the support, and I'm like, my fear was that KV Core was going to go this way, and it's now I'm like, now that's what's happening. So, I mean, like I hopped on their smart social leads that just started 2 days ago, and I still don't even know if like we can link to Facebook, and we've gotten like 3 leads. So I'm like, that's okay, because it's not working right anyway, so it's okay that it's only 3 leads. And I still don't know what it's like, if anyone else is using that, because like if it works right, you kind of have to like jump on it and just like keep it going. And I have some plans set up. It's just, it seems like everybody is a little bit different on how, like, I mean, I wrote like a buyer follow-up, I wrote a list or a seller follow-up, I wrote a 10 days of pain.
okay, good.
So those leads are kind of coming in, and
Are they're rolling right onto the program?
yeah, they're rolling into the program. They're going straight into the 10 days of pain, right? We're making those follow-up calls when we're only on day 3, right? So, and I put myself on it because I found out like the way it looks on a mobile, and I'm just like, looks like a 3rd grader wrote it. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I need to go back in on all these plans and like get your spacing correct, because
Yes,
it
yeah.
does not come out the same.
Yeah, always, always, always put yourself on it first, see what it looks like, and then do it. Yeah.
Are these free leads or these leads from Facebook ads?
These are Facebook ads.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
And you know, I had used it before. I'd used their property boost, and then I stopped using it because Facebook banned me. And I'm like, okay. So I don't know what that was about, because it is linked, and now I'm hoping that it's something changed. But yeah, I know I got banned like last year, so I stopped using property boost.
well, I know Rick was doing some paid Facebook leads based off of some of his listings previously, but we stopped doing it internally just because we use Clayton now to, we pay somebody to do ours and pull them directly into KV Core. But he was pretty successful with doing it just from some of his listings previously, and he was paying like $25 each time he was doing it, and just doing the seller, paid ads, through the list, through KV Core. And we weren't generating nearly as many leads as we get through using Clayton, but I mean, we get quite a few through Clayton, but it's expensive, although he does a good job. So
Yeah, I mean, the KV Core wasn't bad. I mean, I got a lender to partner
good.
on it. So I mean, right now it's only $125 a month, right? And if 30 leads come in a month, they're saying 50. I mean, we'll see.
Okay.
Like, then if it works, right, then you just keep bumping it up until it stops working. I mean,
So how do you have it running? It's just, are you doing an ad like for a particular picture or a listing, or what are you doing?
it's just, they said it's just carousel, so they're just
Okay.
taking MLS leads and they're just dumping them in. So I don't even know. That's what I'd like, can I see it?
Yeah.
Because like when you write a 10 days of pain, like I want to see like, where is that lead source coming in so I can write for that lead source.
Yeah. And then, so what questions is it asking that particular lead when they come in? Is it asking them? You don't know. Okay.
And yeah, that's what I'm like. It's like, I mean, they're saying that they're just they're just clicking on a carousel lead, right? I would love to have it like pull in and say, this is the lead, like this is the house they clicked on. So at least we
Yeah.
have something,
What it
right?
is.
Something to send them. Like the first follow-up should be like, you clicked on this, how can we help you?
Yeah.
LP mama from there or whatever, right? And then source them. That's what my plan is. It's like, do we keep them in? sphere of influence? Are they junk? Are they now? Are they never?
Yeah, I think that's the disadvantage of having them run it that way versus it being your own listing and knowing exactly what they clicked on, right? That's the disadvantage. So like even the ones that we're doing with Clayton, like there are listings or they're some of our past listings and they're specific to a county. So at least then when I know that they click on it, I know what county it was, like it says it's Alameda or it's Contra Costa or whatnot. And then he has it designed so it asks 4 questions when the lead comes in, like how quickly are you looking to buy? Do you currently rent or own? Like I have like some basic information when the lead flows in. So there's like quite a bit of a difference between you going through them and them doing it through the carousel because you're limited, and you doing it through your own listing or something like that. You know, but that's they're doing it for you on
That's
that
the
end.
ease of it, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
My plan was to like do that, and then they have another paid product that will post social like content
Okay.
business page, and then I was going to retarget them again through their service. So it's like we're always, so when the 10 days of pain is going on, we're following them around.
Right.
Right. So we're trying to hit them on like multiple, right? And then they see the Facebook page come up. So like there's content there.
Well, you know the answer to this problem, right, Ralph? Get a listing.
Oh yeah, no, that that's not the that wasn't. I was just trying to figure out like how do we like kind of make that system work,
Yeah.
you know, and get it a little bit better than it is.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we can if it's on their end. Like if they're marketing it in that way, there's not much we can change about it because they're doing it on they have complete control over it.
So just
Go ahead,
a
Sherry.
real quick question on that, Ralph. Do you have your own smart number?
Yes.
Okay, because
Yeah, when I moved over, I stopped calling out of my voice over IP phone. I'm only doing the smart number now. I'm leaving the smart number. I still have the 800 number and the other stuff we cold call out of, but I'm only doing that. And we called through the database, and I'm noticing like certain sets of clientele like that we got those are like the majority of the unsubscribes. Like where I look back, like the content, like, oh, we called this person, I did not have a 10 days of pain set up. Right. So, and I'm noticing like, oh, we missed them here. We missed them here. These are the people that are like, stop, unsubscribe. Because I built the 10 days of pain, kind of Selina, like what you sent. And I just kind of personalized a little bit to the plan. Yeah.
Good.
So I have it mixed, I have like 10 days of pain with email, 10 days of pain with text. So it's like one's a little bit more call heavy. I have different, contacts when we were cold calling. I have, no email, no cell phone. I have a couple different plans that we kind of hopped around on just to try to make it work. But yeah, the text message, definitely people love to unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Getting like 10% right now unsubscribes. I just wish I had that many people saying hi, like, oh, thanks for checking in. If I had that, I was like, that would be amazing.
Have you tried video text?
That's my next. It's on the plan to do the 10 days of pain is to put video in it. Yeah.
I've got a client that I coach in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and she just switched in the last month. She put a video text in there. She's getting a really, really good response rate on just throw it like that. First one is a video text, and she said it's just changed everything for her. People to have just that first, like, hey, that you're a human. Like even though it's a pre-recorded video text, like just that, because she's so nervous about video, but she's such a warm person, and she's like, I don't look perfect in this one. I'm like, nobody wants you to look perfect. They want you to seem human. Like, and I told her, I'm like, you don't have to be perfect. They just want you to seem like you're just you, and you're like, it's actually perfect that you're not perfect. Like that you seem a little bit nervous there. And it's like 20 seconds of her just saying, hey, just got your message through the system. I'm actually showing clients right this second. When is a good time for us to touch base? Like, even though she's not currently showing clients at that second, but it's putting the ball in their court for them to set a time that's convenient for them. Like, just making it like, oh, when is good for you? And that's been really good at getting them to respond back like, oh, could you call me in about, an hour or whatever it is. And that's been really good at getting the actual texting going. So something to throw in there, like maybe the very first touch is a video text.
Can you set that up? I mean, because right now I checked in with KV Core and they said they can't do, you can put like your phone on do not disturb, but I was wondering if there's a way that you can set it up. Like, so like if somebody's scrolling through a Facebook lead, right, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, they can't sleep, they do that, right? I mean, that video can't go out saying, hey, I'm showing property, because I have it set up for like 3 minutes after the lead comes in, automatic email goes out, and then we have a call set up.
I don't know. That's a great question.
So you'd be like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm out showing property. People are like, what the hell?
Test it on yourself first and see how it works.
Okay.
Because I think there is a thing so that you can't text people after a certain time of night. There's an automatic feature that it won't send it to them during certain hours.
I know, like the emails, I have the emails going out at like 9 a.m. I think.
Yeah, I think there's a thing I'm pretty sure there's a thing
Okay.
that
Because
doesn't.
if they come in, right? They come in at 2 o'clock in the morning. That automatic text can't go out.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does. I think there's a setting that does not allow a call, like a text or a thing, to go during certain hours. It's like a do not disturb almost, but I would run it on yourself first and see what happens. Like, do it, send yourself a text message at like 1 a.m. and like you're a lead.
I think that's in the settings when
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
on the right down. I believe it's when you're setting up like how many calls you get and so on and so forth. I think the time is in there, but
Yeah.
I'm not like Selena. I don't have 10,000 screens, so I can check everything out.
I've got all of them open right now. Sorry.
Actually, I have
I
them.
don't know
I just
how
don't
you
have
guys
the
operate on
bandwidth.
one screen. I don't know how anybody functions that way.
I have two.
I was at Rick's this weekend just operating off my laptop, and I was like, I just need more screens. I did get him set up with his 2 screens. But I would always run a test, Ralph, always run a test, and I always tell people, I'm like, add yourself. Like, people will run they'll run a campaign, and then it never fails to amaze me that a lead will call in and they'll be like, oh, I just got your message. And the agent will be like, huh? And I'll be like, oh my God, did you not put yourself on your own drip campaign? You don't even know what it said. Like, always put yourself on whatever drip campaign you're running, so that when they call, they'll be like, that was such great information you sent me. And you're like, does anybody know what I sent? Like, make sure you put yourself on it so you know what it says. Always add yourself. So run that through, because video text is really powerful right now, especially, guys, because I know it sounds terrible, because a lot of people are like totally against AI, but it's going to change the world. And if we don't jump in on this and start learning some of this stuff, we're going to be left behind. But it is important for people to know that you're not a bot. And the best way for people to know that you're not a bot is to put a video text or something in there. Okay. One of the most amazing experiences I ever had, and this was years ago, I was actually at a Boomtown conference with this gentleman. He was with Workman back then. I don't think he's still with us anymore. But I was at Boomtown and I was having dinner with a group of us. We all went to dinner and we were just getting seated at the table, and we're in this loud restaurant, and we go to sit down, and the guy says, oh, hang on 1 second. And he's just sitting down, and he picks up his phone and he's like, hey, this is Bob Kohler with blah, blah, blah. And I can't remember what the name of his company is. And he's like, I'm sitting down to dinner right now, as you can see. And he flashes around to all of us. And he's like, but I did just get your lead information in, and I could see that you're looking for a house in Louisville. And he's like, And I just wanted to let you know that I should be done in about an hour, hour and a half maybe, and I'm going to give you a call back. I have all your information, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, so if it's okay with you, just text me right back in a second and I'll call you back in about an hour and a half. Thanks so much. And I'm looking forward to talking to you soon. And he puts the phone down. 2 seconds later, he gets a text message back. Looking forward to speaking to you, Bob. Talk to you in an hour and a half. And I was like, what did you just do? And he's like, oh, I got a lead in. And I just wanted to make sure that they knew I got it and that they saw my face and that I was going to call him back. And I was like, did you just do that via video? And he's like, yeah, I get the best responses when I do that. They can see that I got it and like I'm here and I'm absolutely going to answer their questions, and but I want them to know that I'm not ignoring them, but like I'm at dinner, but whatever. And he's like, I get immediate responses and they're like, oh yeah, totally. Okay, no worries. Call me when you're ready. And I was like, and people respond? And he's like, yeah, it's great. Works perfect. And I was like, this was years ago, by the way, before Bomb was really a thing. And now Bomb's like huge. And that's what he was using. Bomb. And he just immediately sends that out every time. And he was like, they respond immediately. Immediately. Before that, he would text people back, radio silence, crickets, nothing. He'd be texting and he'd be like, hey, just got your message. When's a good time to talk? Crickets. Hey, just checking in. Got your message. When's a good time for us to chat? Nothing. Video, boom. Yep, call us when you're done. And I was like, is this magic? So no matter how many times I tell people about this, do you know what everyone says to me? What if my hair's not done? What if I sound funny? What if I don't have my makeup perfect? What if my lipstick's not on? What if this? What if that? What if this? Did Bob care? I'm going to tell you a secret. Bob's like 450 pounds if he's like anything.
I follow Bob on YouTube, so
Yeah.
I see all the goofy stuff he does.
Yeah. He doesn't care.
He'll be
They
like
don't-
drunk on a beach. He's like, here, I'm on a beach drinking some vodka. And it's like 9 o'clock in the morning.
He doesn't care. All they care about is that he answered immediately. The speed to lead was seconds. Seconds. The lead came in on the phone. He got the text message. He opened up Bomb, immediately did the video.
Where are they texting through? Through KV Core?
Well, he wasn't using KV Core. He was using his CRM. I mean, he was Remax, but back then it was a different CRM. But he's getting the lead coming directly through his CRM. He has Bomb linked through, and bada bing, bada boom. He does the video and immediately contacts the lead.
You put your smart number on all your marketing? Because I have my own unique smart. Okay, yeah, I see Sherry nodding her head. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when you do that, you can track
Yeah.
everything in KV Core. It's much easier.
Okay. I haven't done it yet.
You can text through KV Core?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have a smart number,
Okay.
your own smart number.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's like you get that, like you're tied to it. You're married to that thing now. That was
The
like
number?
the thing I didn't want to jump in. I was like, I'm afraid of commitment, and then I do it, and I was like, oh, every single $27 a month. I'm like, now you got to send that text out. Now you get to do this. Like you're married to it.
Do you change your number every month?
My number?
Your smart number?
No, you get it, and then you pay for it, and it's your own unique number locally.
I tried
So-
this through was it Batch Leads? Where was I getting my number? I might have been getting my number through Mojo. Yeah, I got my number through Mojo, but what happens is they scrub the number, and the number can people can report the number as spam. And so when they report the number as spam, then the calls stop going through. This is for calls, not for text.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, like when I'm cold calling, I have 7 numbers.
Okay.
So when I'm cold calling, and I mean, that's where I kind of built the database, was like circle prospecting, just listed, just sold. Like that was all I was doing. and I was just looking for people that answered the phone, and then we would just put them in the database. And my call, I mean, like my answer rate used to be like when I first started, it was like 11-12%. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I just thought I found like the fountain of youth for leads. Because I was from door knocking, I went to that, and now we're down to like 1%. So like that's not working. The phone, you know, and I went through like call mediation to get my stuff out of spam, switching phone numbers and dialers, not calling more than 85 calls an hour. So, or making 85 calls and then switching the phone number, like getting off the dialer. That's one thing. You shouldn't be like, if you have like a VA or somebody running just calls, they got to get off the phone before 90 dials, because 90 dials flags you.
Okay.
And then, I mean, there's companies, like I said, I spent money to get my stuff out of spam. However, it did not work. And I don't know if it is Mojo. I was going to try Vulcan 7. I don't know if anybody's doing that, but I was because I know I did a little research on Mojo, and they're in a class action lawsuit right now for auto dialers. So I don't know if they're getting, you know, if they're kind of throttling their own calls or what's going on.
I have a colleague that does the Vulcan 7. He really likes it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of switching over just to see if it is the dialer that killed the call rates. Because we went from like, it was like 7, 5, 4, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. It was literally like just dead.
So I don't understand you use 7 phone numbers.
Yeah, I have to when we're making that many calls, because if I'm dialing out, I have to stop or they'll get blocked as spam.
Okay.
So I need to switch the dialer I need to switch the phone number and the dialer by every 85 dials.
Got it. And so when you switch a number, are those numbers forwarded into your CRM as well?
No, those are just through Mojo.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, all those IDs are just set in through Mojo, and those are just phantom lines that run through my voice over IP.
So something you guys are talking about is making me think of something. And this came up the other day while I was coaching one of my workman clients. You guys all have all of your lead sources funneling into KV Core. Yes, like Facebook ads and Realtor.com and Zillow, and like everybody knows that KV Core is intended to be a funnel. Yes, like everything should be feeding into your KV Core.
Except that it doesn't seem to be working too well right now, because like my Zillow Connect comes in, and for some reason about every 4th lead bounces to I don't know where at this point in time. And so I've been on with tech support, but I'm, just like with Ralph, it's like, we'll get to you in 24 or 48 hours. Well, it's Friday, but, and I have some stuff from Tuesday that they finally responded to this morning. And I'm like, okay. So there's a couple of things that I'm not sure if it's the integration part of it or what, but yeah, it's just like, for some reason it'll talk for a while and then not, and then it starts talking again. I don't know.
Okay. The reason I bring that up is I was speaking to one of my clients the other day, and she's like, "Oh no, I get the email, and then my admin takes it from the email and inputs it into KV Core." And I was like, "Huh?"
Well, they're charging now too. Like it's $25 a month to get Mojo to talk to KV Core through Zapier. So I'm like, it's like when you start to get all these add-ons.
Per phone line?
No, that's just for your account, just to
Okay.
talk. Like Top Producer will just dump right in, right? You can just hit the button. But again, it doesn't really matter because I haven't gotten any leads from Mojo. So I'm getting ready to cut that. I just cut my Cole because I was using Cole Realty Resource.
Gotcha.
And nothing. I'm like, I feel like I'm out in the ocean right now without a sail. I'm just like waiting for the wind to blow.
Me too.
You know who's rocking it for me right now is Zillow Connect. You
Is
know,
it
and I
free?
don't, what's that?
Is it free?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't really buying any leads. I was just using Just Call, Realty Resource, and Mojo, and that was it. I was just looking for someone that answers the phone, and then I was like, okay, perfect, somebody that answers their phone. And then we would just call them, just put them in the database, and then just call them, and that's how I was getting the business. It was just that. There was nothing really else. I mean, open house and stuff, but that was the only thing I was using. And then, like I said, when that started to die, I was just running off the database, but the database wasn't getting bigger. So it was dying. It was just decaying. And now I'm like something else, right? If it's Facebook leads or whatever that's coming in, and it's like, how much do you spend? Where does it end, right? With
Right.
Zillow or
Systems and the leads, and it's just right now things are too slow to spend so much money on all these systems and not get anything in return.
yeah, or you just front run it, right? I mean, that's the thing, is when we're all going to be busy enough, then the leads, like, you have to get the leads before. You have to get the leads when it's slow.
Ralph, I'm going to ask you a very important question.
Yes.
When's the last time you talked to everybody in your sphere of influence?
I just called them.
What did you say?
What did I say? I just said I was just checking in to see if you had any questions regarding the current real estate market. I didn't get a lot of phone answers. We did leave those messages. I'm getting the ones that I did leave messages that were actually sphere and not like cold calling. Those people are texting back in on the follow-up plan. So I'm getting that, and I'm getting a lot of like, hey, is this your new number? Right, the smart number. And I'm like, yeah, you guys still have the bat phone. However, like, the business is moving a little bit of a different direction. So this is the new main line. You still have the bat phone. And so, like, that's kind of going out. And then, I mean, obviously the video I didn't do because that's just another add-on. So I'm like, I know I need to do that add-on, and that's the same thing as like KV course, and to go from like $8,500 or $85 a month to $8,500 a month pretty soon with all these add-ons. But
Real-
it needs to
that
get
too.
done. Like, it's like there's no other way. It's like you have to pay to play when it comes to KV core. So
And guys, when you're calling your sphere, I don't want you guys to call and ask them if they have a question about the market. You know, there's a lot that's happening right now out there. Okay, there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of uncertainty. And, you know, it was interesting. We were having a team huddle last week, and one of the agents said that even she herself felt like she was in a bit of a funk. Okay. And she said part of it too was in California, everyone's in a funk because of this freaking weather. Like, she felt like she had like seasonal affective disorder. Like, she was like, I don't know, it's been raining since the dawn of time. And I was like, I know, I got here from South Carolina and everybody said it was supposed to be beautiful and it hasn't stopped raining yet. But she said she noticed that it was the weather, it was what she was seeing on the news, it was just this kind of doomy, gloomy feeling that was sort of overwhelming her and everyone around her. She was kind of noticing everybody was in it. Like, it was just like, bleh. Nobody wanted to go look at houses because it was just rainy and nasty all the time. And it was just this general feeling of bleh. Mix that with sellers being like, hey, I don't want to list my house because where am I going to go live? Mix that with buyers being like, hey, the interest rate's like 7%. And like, everyone was just generally feeling like, so it was like, instead, call your sphere, because this past week, the interest, I was so mad the other day. I was on with one of my coaching clients and they had their lender on and they said, hey, Mr. Lender, what's the interest rate? And he goes, 7%. And I stopped and I was like,
No, it's not.
Excuse me. What? He's in Denver and he goes, yeah, it's like 7%. I was like, hi. No, it's not. And he goes, yeah, it's like hovering right around 7. I was like, I'm sorry, could you please look that up real quick this morning? And it was like 7 o'clock my time, by the way. I'm like barely alert. And he goes, yeah, it's like, I said, I'd like you to look it up. Like I'm a buyer right now. And I just called you and I said, excuse me, Mr. Lender, I would like to buy a house. And he goes, okay, it's 6 3/4. And I said, hi, I just want you to understand psychologically the difference between saying 6 3/4 and 7 as a
Right.
buyer. We're talking like it's like this in my brain as a buyer. If I call you and you say 7, I'm going, oh my God, it's so much. If you say 6 3/4, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I can do that today. So don't ever say that again, first of all. Like I'm never going to work with you now. And like I called my client afterwards, I was like, can we talk about your lender? First of all, but that's doomy gloomy, right? And 6 3/4 is like, hey, I might buy a house today, right? When you're calling your sphere of influence, you have got to talk to them about not for them, but anybody in their life who might also be feeling doomy gloomy. Everybody's feeling doomy gloomy. It's very doomy gloomy out there. But we need to be able to say, people are still selling, people are still buying. Hey, did you know about this new loan that's out there? Hey, did you know about this new assistance program that's out there? Hey, did you know that I helped 5 people list their house last week? So obviously people are still doing it. Hey, did you know 15 people in your neighborhood put their house into contract last week? So people are still doing it. Whatever that is, that's the conversation. Not necessarily that they want to buy or sell. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but people have been really doomy gloomy lately about the real estate market. I don't know if you know of anybody in your life who was also sort of feeling that way, but if they are, would you let them know that we've been able to help a lot of people, but we're hearing that people are feeling doomy gloomy? And if they're feeling that way, but maybe they need to sell, or maybe they really need to buy, that we probably could help them. And we don't want them to feel that way. So if you know somebody like that, would you let them know that we can help them? Because what they're hearing on the news is telling them that there's no help for them, but we wanted to let you know that we can. So I don't want them to feel doomy gloomy because of what they're hearing on the news. But in case they're feeling that way, we wanted you to know that you can tell them that you know somebody. That's the conversation, right? It's not like, who do you know who wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Because I'm your gal. Like, that's not the combo. It's just really bad right now out there. Like, it's just really doomy gloomy, but there's a lot of ways to help them. Ralph, you're laughing. What are you laughing at?
That
You
I
didn't
don't.
like
I
my
mean, I never really thought about it because I don't watch the news, right? I don't have TV, so I never really thought they thought it was like doom and gloomy. I just thought they were just like, I mean, a lot of like past clients and stuff like that, right? I mean, I did my best to get them all like locked on low mortgages, and they're like thanking me for that right now. And they're like, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing good. It'd be better if not everybody was locked on these 3% mortgages. And it's like, that's just going to be a thing. And I don't think like the market is still moving. Everything's going, and those people are not going to move. They are married. They may hate their house, and they're still not going to move, I believe. So
Not
you just
them
got to
though.
go out there and like find the new ones. Like for me, it's like I don't love buyers. However, I kind of want to load up on them because they're going to be the ones that are like you got to load up on them right now.
Yep.
You got to find them.
Find them and
I mean,
Cool.
I have a set of buyers that are literally, I show them the same homes. Like I'll set up an appointment, I'll show them one at 10:30, and then I'll literally go and sit in my car, and the buyer's like, what is Ralph doing? I'm still sitting there. So I'm like waiting, like, okay, shit, hopefully they don't show up at the same time.
the key is, guys, is that we're not going to sell the people that are sitting in a house they bought for 3%. Okay, that's not the thing. the thing is that there are people out there who do need to sell, and there are people out there who do need to buy. It's those people that we need to help at the moment. Okay. And we need to make sure that people understand it's still okay. There are a lot of buyers. There are a lot of buyers. We are still at most of the country. I coach people all the way from one coast to the other coast, are still at double the number of pendings to the number of actives. Double pendings to actives. What does that mean? Everybody knows what it means, right?
Seller's market.
Seller's market. Okay, so again, strategize. What that means is if you need to consider like, okay, where am I going to find sellers? Go find a title person that you're friendly with, or go to the tax office. I don't care how you get it, and look for people who own 2 properties. Okay, they might have a second property that maybe they didn't get at 3%, and go see if they want to sell the second property. Okay, that's one strategy. See if
just
you want to
did
go
that.
sell. What, Sherry, did you just do it?
Yeah, I just did that. I just pulled everybody that owns more than one property and lives out of the area.
Lives out of the
So,
area.
because, you know, the second home is the first thing that's gonna go.
That's gonna
And-
go.
Yeah, I just got that all actually on an Excel. I was just mining the data. And then, I'll toss this out here as we're talking to people, and you're talking about people who are doomy gloomy and I can't make it and I don't know. You know, if you guys don't have a tag in your process that says short sale, not that they're anything right at this moment, but 6 months to a year, if you've got those people tagged for short sales, those are the people that you're going to call and offer them a consultation for their property and kind of watch, because if there's people losing their jobs and there's people, you know, yeah, they're able to make their 3% mortgage now, but they're not going to be able to in a year. But just having that short sale tag and following up with them once a quarter, I would do it. I mean, I do it. In fact, I'm actually going to go get my short sale expert thing that's through NAR, which I went through the short sale chaos last time and I never did do it. But this time I think it's going to be more of an expertise because I did enough of them. But it's definitely something that you should be tagging. So those conversations that you can be having with your clients that are like, I'm not selling, I've got a 5% mortgage and blah, blah, blah. You know, it doesn't matter when you can't make the payment, what that percentage is.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to start happening.
Ralph.
Well, if I could high five you right now.
Oh.
The short sales were great. You got 3.5 on the listing side and you gave out 2.5, and it was like,
So
Except for that whole 50-50 thing that the damn darn banks would come back with.
my point is this, when I'm asking you guys, because I don't want you to spend the money on buying leads or anything like, or spending money on other things, we always go back to top 50 and sphere of influence. And it's not because I'm saying, go ask them, do they want to sell their house or buy a house? I'm asking you to ask them if anybody in their sphere of influence, because start doing the math, right? On the number of people you know, and then the number of people they know. And it exponentially is massive. When you start asking them, who do you know that we could help? Because somewhere in their sphere, someone is mentioning that doomy, gloomy feeling that they're concerned about what's happening in the real estate market. When you come from that place of who can we help in what's happening right now, and you are saying that to them once a month or even more often, or you're posting about it on social media that, hey, we're hearing that people are worried about this and we can help, that's hitting them in their brain when they're hearing that conversation in their own lives. And they're like, oh my gosh, you should speak to my friend Ralph. You know, he was just telling me that that's what they're hearing people say, but they're helping people. That's what you want to happen. You want them to say, oh, I was just talking to Ralph and he was just saying they're helping people. And that's what you want. But the only way for them to do that is they're hearing it from you regularly or seeing it on your social media about, oh, we're helping people. Oh, we're helping people. Oh, we know what you're hearing in the news or whatever, and that people can't be helped during this market. But let me tell you what can be done. That's free. Okay, that's free. You're not paying for Facebook ads. You're not paying for this. You're not adding another thing onto KV Core. That's you just picking up and chatting with people and saying, gosh, it's been really tough. We keep hearing people saying that they don't think things are possible in this market. I just wanted to let you know, if you hear of anybody saying that, we know we can help people right now. I just want to let you know we're here. I'm here. We're helping people. And say it with that tone, guys, because that's what we do for a living, is we literally help people. And that's free. If you can do one thing today, it's go take one of those giant sticky pad papers. I still haven't found mine from the move yet. I'm somewhere in the midst of stuff, and throw it on the wall and just start writing those people down on that paper and be like, oh, I'm going to call them, going to call them, going to call them, or make a spreadsheet, my favorite thing to do, or a Trello board, and be like, here are all the people I'm going to immediately call and say, hey, we're just hearing a lot about people feeling really negative Nelly right now about what's happening. And I just want to let people know that we're seeing people buy and sell, and we're seeing that there are ways to help. And I just want to let you know that if you're hearing that in your neck of the woods, we're here. So it's not magic. I mean, if you don't have anything else going on right now, you got time to make those calls. Just saying. It's not. It's free. It's free. It's no Facebook ads, no credit card involved. That's it for Systems with Selina today. All right, so next week I'm gonna find someone to run it for me because I'm gonna be on a plane to Honolulu. So I'll let you guys know because I'm gonna go see my kid, who I'm really excited to go see and I haven't seen for a minute. I will let you guys know who will be running it. Maybe I'll talk to Debbie. She's like my sister from another mister. So we'll see who that's going to be. Any questions before I finish up today? I put my email in there and my disc link. So if you guys ever want to disc anybody, but just be sure to email me the name of that person so that I know that that disc is for you, so that I can email you back who that disc is and the disc report. I always email that person, but if it's specifically for you, I like to CC you on it. So make sure you let me know. And any questions or anything before we wrap up today? Everybody signed up for RAMP? Yeah.
Do we have to sign up or we just jump on?
Are you already, you're already in, right?
I'm already in, so yeah, no,
so you're
I'll
good.
be on.
Robin, you're in? I
Yep.
think your email already.
Selena, can you,
Subscriber. I'm excited.
Go ahead. What, Sherry?
can you add Gary? He's not able to click into
Into RAMP?
ramp.
Yep. Gary. RAMP. Sherry, you're in though, right?
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, yeah, I'll add Gary.
All right, I'll see you
Where's
guys.
the
later. I'm gonna go
link?
sell my soul to a listing agent right now with an offer. So
Oh. Kiana, was that you? Where's the link?
Yes.
Hang on one second. I'm gonna give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Don't move. Boop, boop, boop. I'm gonna put it right here so you can grab it before we go. All right, that's the link to sign up. That gets you access to all four. That's the 149
Okay,
limit cost. All right, can you grab it? You
got it.
Okay, perfect. And then actually, I'm going to send you the other one too, so that you can see. This is where you sign in once you, well, they'll send it to you actually, but in case you need it.
Okay.
The Wise Hire link isn't working on my computer.
Oh, I went right to it when I click it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what are you on? What kind of computer?
Google. I'm
No, I just clicked it. And went right.
okay.
Wait,
I'll try it again.
so when you click it, what does it say?
Well, it just says, oh, I actually copied and pasted it. I'll
Oh.
just click it.
Oh, does it work when you click it?
Let me see really quick. Yep, that's it.
Okay, perfect. I was like, whew.
Right?
All
Hey,
right.
thank you.
You're welcome. Kiana, did you get both links? You're okay there?
I did. Thank you for everything.
You betcha. All right, guys. See you later.
Have a good trip.
Thanks.